Continue to tune in for new videos every Tuesday with new interviews, educational content, and learning and growing with Yes Inc. Coming up, here an all-new interview with Isabel Ortiz. My name is Kellen Begin, Director of Communications at Youth Empowerment Services, Yes Inc. Today we have Isabel Ortiz, a Yes Inc. participant and effective educator. Listen to Isabel's story of effectiveness in the classroom.
Honest, teaching was never something that was on my radar or something that I wanted to do growing up. But when I started studying history, I got really into the history, the museum aspect of the history degree, and I got some internships working in museums. Well, when I started looking for jobs post graduation, I found an education position in a museum. And being that I was from a small city, there weren't many other opportunities in that industry. So I took it on, and it's something that I ended up completely falling in love with. Being able to engage and connect with kids and seeing the spark of joy in their eyes when they understand something new motivated me to want to do more. And so I worked a little harder in what I was doing, and I ended up getting promoted until I was running the education program. But even at that point, it didn't feel like enough. So I started looking for new opportunities, and I came across an advertisement from Yes Inc. And I went through a very rigorous interview process. And when I was finally selected for this program, I felt completely at home once I met all of the other educators, because it was the first time that I felt that I connected with people on a level of wanting to do more for our youth and for our children and to work for a better future. I met people that are truly change agents within this industry. Connecting with people at Yes Inc. made me realize that other people thought like me, and other people had these feelings of wanting to do more for children and for education. And so if it wasn't for Yes Inc., I wouldn't have found my place in the Relay Graduate School Education Program, and I wouldn't have connected with the school that I am working with today. So why did I go into teaching? Well, it wasn't necessarily that I wanted to, it was something that I felt was a true calling, and it was something that I feel is my true place in life. Yes Inc. provided us with professional development and a number of trainings that ranged from things like classroom management to building student relationships, and dove deeply into things like culturally responsive teaching. Before Yes Inc., I had never even heard of that term. And so if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't know how much we have to truly connect with our students on a one-to-one level. That's how we really make our differences. And so I think that that's something that I try to apply on a daily basis, whether it be just how I greet them at the door, a compliment here or there, taking a notice in what else they're doing outside of school, whether it be sports or something that's not even related to our campus. It it shows that you care. And when they know that you care, it really makes them want to work harder for you. So it helps them connect with your content too, because then they feel like they are furthering that relationship that you've already tried to build with them. I remember spending the entire summer training with them, and every day I would wake up feeling fortunate that I was going to get to learn something new. And so Yes Inc. provided a lot of like what is the base, but then also helped build into how do we really make a difference in these kids' lives. And it really comes down to, you might be the only person that they have a stable relationship with. And so it matters more to them that you care about them than the fact that you are teaching them whatever subject you're in. I'm a history teacher, and so most of my kids don't truly like history, but they like the fact that I connect with them, that I always bring in real world examples. And that's something that Yes really pushed for us to do, is building those relationships and connecting with our students. They tell me that they're excited for my class, that it's the most fun one of the day. And I mean, if I can recall back to when I was their age, history class was never something that I would have called fun. But in my class, we stand up sometimes and we do a dance to, shake the sleepies out or something, or we'll make up some gestures or some movements to go along with the new terms that we're learning. And so for them, they see it as fun, but then they translate that and they put it on the paper and they master those assessments because they remember the silly little things that we did in between. And so I think that most of my students would say that it's fun and engaging. In talking to my colleagues, I was able to hear from them that that I have made a safe space in my classroom. History can be kind of a bummer sometimes when we talk about the harsh truths of how America was built. And so for them, I think that they realize that I've opened the door to have these complicated and uncomfortable conversations so that we can better understand not only our history, but how those things affect us today. So definitely when we have discussions, I have 100% engagement. All students are able to share. And, even though I do have some shy ones, if they can write out their responses and then read it, they're really comfortable with that. So I was really pleased to hear from my colleagues that they felt my room was a safe place for those uncomfortable historical conversations that we have. And as far as parents, every time that I talk to a parent, I'm always a little apprehensive because they're very protective of their scholars, which most parents should be, but they always tell me you're their favorite teacher, and it's always a pleasant surprise because it's not something that I'm ever looking for, but they know that I do my best to try and get everyone motivated to do well academically as well as socially in my class, because like I said, we do engage in a lot of difficult discussions. Do it. There hasn't been a single negative aspect that I've encountered. If it wasn't for Yes, I wouldn't be in this position today. I don't know where I would be. I would probably still be feeling stuck and not knowing how to make the changes that I want to do. This organization opened the door, not just for me as an educator, but for me personally. I've been able to grow in and out of my professional aspect of being a teacher. I would say the sky's the limit, and that is possible because of Yes Inc. I would have done it sooner. I think that this is the first and only position I've ever had in which I feel fulfilled. I feel good about myself at the end of the day, and I feel good waking up at 5, 6 in the morning. Some days it's tiring, but it's worth it because I can see the change from my students from day one when they walked into my classroom to this point where some days they couldn't even write a complete sentence for me. And now we're having these sometimes college level responses come out of them. And it's just such a beautiful feeling to know that I'm a part of that.
Don't forget to watch, like, and share our new videos every Tuesday. Thanks for watching.